What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Monster Hunter video. In today's quest we get to fight Odogaron. He is definitely a fight that a lot of people struggle with, especially in the early game, so people don't really know how to fight him, so he claims a lot of lives. So this challenge is really testing my mastery on how well I know Odogaron, and how well I can do against him using my Survivalist rule set. Essentially, I'm fighting him with no armor. The only thing I'm using is a weapon, no equipment, no jewels, no decorations, no hunter tools, just my good old trusty hammer. So this was definitely a fight that going into it I knew was going to be a problem because I don't have anything to counter just the area itself. The Rotten Vale, as you can tell, just you just take damage. But I knew since I couldn't get hit anyway, it didn't really matter if I was taking damage over time, as long as the damage over time wasn't any more than it would have been whether or not I was wearing an armor set. Which, thankfully it's not, so it doesn't matter if you're wearing armor or not, you still take the same amount of damage. So this was, something that was good. So Odogaron is pretty interesting. Like, he gets paralyzed really easily, so Cat is definitely gonna come in handy. As you can tell, like the first couple of seconds of the match, he already got paralyzed, or I'm not sure if it was a trap. Maybe I'll go back and look at it, but he already got paralyzed, and then all those gyros, I don't know how to say it. Well, those guys are definitely going to come in handy too, so whenever they're around, it's going to be super useful. But Odogaron is actually a really easy fight, if you don't overcommit and you're always moving. Like, this monster always attacks the last place that you were at, so it's almost like he doesn't track you per se, he just tracks your current position at the time of his attack. So even if you move very slightly to the left or right, as he's trying to attack you, you'll actually dodge his moves, unless he's doing like a wide sweeping attack. So Odogaron is going to be really interesting when we get to fight the new one, the Ebony Odogaron, because he doesn't have all these direct jab moves like the regular Odogaron. He actually has, sweeping moves, as Capcom were saying, or the Monster Hunter team was saying. So, that's gonna substantially change the fight and how, you go at him. Because if you, go fight the Ebony Odogaron using the same mindset that you had going into an Odogaron fight, you'll probably get killed really easily. So I go over here thinking, oh wait, maybe I can find another Palico helper, to help me out and fight this Odogaron. But there was none here. So I was like, oh, well, okay, no problem. And then I regroup, and I'm like, alright, let's go fight. So, I use torch pods just to light up some of the area to kind of stave off a lot of the damage over time that I would take. So I'm attacking this guy, and I see on my map that there's a Great Gyros in this area. So I'm hoping and praying that the Great Gyros doesn't come in here while I'm fighting the Odogaron. And my cat gets a Gyros helper. I'm like, oh, double paralysis. My cat is using, I think, one of the low rank paralysis weapons. Even though it's not very strong, it's really useful in, getting those paralysis procs, and then, you get free damage on the monster, as they're just sitting there. And paired up with a hammer, It just works extremely well because you know, you can sort of loop them between paralysis and KO. That's why one of my favorite weapons, honestly, in this game in general is the Kulv Taroth Kajar Gyros weapon. It's basically a Kulv Taroth, the highest level Kajar hammer. That's the paralysis hammer. It's really broken. It's just one of the best weapons in this game, especially if you can focus on the monster's face. So, you know, I'm fighting this guy, and then I think Gyros shows up here, you know, ruining my day essentially. So, you know, like I said, Odogaron is pretty easy. You just have to let him go nuts and attack and do all of that. And I almost got killed there because the Gyros was actually blocking my path, and I didn't realize that the Gyros was blocking my path. So I was just walking. Thankfully, the Odogaron didn't really try to hit me, because if he did, I would have died right there. So he gets paralyzed again. I don't even know how many times this guy gets paralyzed for this match. And then I see Great Gyros discovered. I'm like, no, he's here. You know, I see him in the distance. I'm like, alright, now I have two monsters I need to be careful about. You know, and obviously, you let your guard down for a second, you just get destroyed, you know, using, when you don't have any armor. So I drop him, and then I'm looking, I look around a little bit, because I want to see where he's at, and I see him coming. And then, thankfully, somehow he didn't hit me when he was doing his attack. So I see all those little gyros. I'm like, yeah, I don't think I should go in there. You know, I could have gone in for the free attacks while he was paralyzed, but then I was like, I don't think this is a good idea. Let me just get out of the way, you know, give them some time to, like, you know, disperse a little bit. And then I run away, and I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna go all the way around and see if I can kind of lure the Odogaron on the other side. So I go back to camp. I think I'm gonna pick up a couple more of the torch pods here, because, you know, I know there's so much fluvium in this area, and, you know, I wanna make sure that I don't have to worry about healing if I get hit by like a small monster or something, you know, because they do a lot of damage too. You know, I remember when I was fighting the Great Jagras, or no, it wasn't the Great Jagras. It was the Anjanath. I was fighting the Anjanath, and a regular small Jagras hit me, and it took half of my HP. So I was like, what do you mean half of my HP just for a tiny Jagras? That's not fair. You know, and then I'm like, okay, well, you know what? It's a challenge. I know what I'm doing. I know why I'm here. So, thankfully, Gyros and Odogaron are not in the same area as I get here. So I'm trying to, you know, kind of like move around, and he gets poisoned, luckily. You know, and I'm just trying to fight him away from the effluvium area. You know, I was trying to go for a mount right there. I knew, you know, all I would have to do is just wait for him to try to attack, and then I dodge, and then, you know, I could go back in with the hammer to attack him, but I keep missing because this guy is so fast. So my cat traps him for a second, and then I think the Gyros comes back. No, not yet. He's not back yet. So, you know, here I'm just trying not to get caught by shenanigans, you know, trying to get him out. And then I see all the small Gyros coming back. I'm like, oh man, that means the Great Gyros is here. So I'm just trying to do, you know, little jabs here and there without overcommitting. And then I can't seem to get them out. Thankfully, you know, he didn't do one of his, like, just jab moves towards me, because that would have killed me. I see the pod on the floor, so I know I'm doing some decent damage to him. And the Great Gyros, I didn't even realize was already there. He almost killed me with his running attack. Like, literally, his running attack does almost no damage if you have armor on. Oh my gosh. And I forget that freaking Raffinos broke a part of the Odogaron. I was like, wow, you guys are helping me. You know, except if you hit me, I'll probably die. So, you know, I don't want to get hit by them. I'm still trying to mount the Odogaron, and for some reason, it's just I'm not getting lucky. I'm like, okay, well, let me just be more careful and not overcommit to try to, you know, get one of those attacks in, or you know, I might die. So I go over here and I'm gonna try to use the flash, and then I hear the music faint out, so I'm like, oh, he's leaving. And then I see him limping, so I'm like, oh, okay, great. I know where you're going. You know, let me go meet you there. Odogaron's always funny, the way he leaves the area. He always goes through one of the holes, and then he instantly appears in his and his base, or you know, sleeping area. It's just too funny. It's instant too, because even if you're like right there and somebody else is in the sleeping area, it takes like 2 seconds from the time that he goes into the wall to the time that he gets out on the other side. Yeah, it's almost like he's teleporting. It's funny. I was thinking, there's another monster that used to do the same thing. I think in the other old Monster Hunter games, they would just go into like a area into the wall, and then all of a sudden they disappear, and then they're like 10 areas away, you know, in a different area on the map, and you have to travel. It was a pain. So I'm using my cat here. I want him to put down the Thunderbug cage just in case this guy doesn't die. Get a nice wake up slam, and he doesn't even seem phased. I'm like, oh, okay. I guess you're not as close to dying as I thought. So, you know, I'm baiting him here, trying to get him to get into the trap, just so I can get some, you know, free damage. You know, and he gets here, and, you know, I'm just wailing on him. See if I can take him out, because he's almost dead. I know he's almost dead. That was a terrible roll. That's one of the moves that just does so much damage, but it's the easiest move to dodge. Like, so I'm throwing all of my torch pods on the floor, you know, just trying to get a little bit extra damage just from him like being around them, you know, and then I'm just trying to break one of his paws so I can knock him down. And it's just not working the way that I want it to. You know, I know I need to be careful, so I'm not trying to overcommit and do a combo or anything. I know he's almost dead, so I knock him down here. Trying to get some extra damage, seeing if I could get a KO. And I think right about now he's almost dead. He's got like just a couple more hits. I think my cat knocks him down there, and he gets mad and he tries to do some crazy acrobatics on me, but it's not working. Odogaron, it's over. Just accept your fate. Honestly, before I went into this was my very first Odogaron fight using this rule set. You know, I didn't know how it was gonna go, because I was afraid that the Rotten Veil would just claim my life really quickly, but somehow, you know, I'm surviving and I'm destroying this guy. You know, there's no bloopers for this one. I definitely have a highlight reel and a blooper video for for all of the deaths that I've had fighting some of the other monsters. But Odogaron, I won't have any bloopers for him, because this was my first hunt and I killed him. So you know, I didn't die. I didn't really even get hit. So, you know, honestly, learning a lot of these monsters, you know, if you want to learn how to fight them and you want to learn their pattern, you should definitely try to fight them without all your, you know, all the crutches, you know, without using too many items, you know, without putting out all the max defense that you can. You know, just try to learn the monster's pattern and try not to get hit. Anyways, that's it for this video, guys. I hope you guys liked it. I'm trying to do a little bit more commentary in these videos. Let me know what you guys think, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.